Good morning or afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeremy Walsh, and I'm the Director of Support, Training, and Documentation for BNI Connect. I'd like to welcome everybody to the webinar today. Today's webinar is on chapter websites, or really for chapter webmasters. We're going to be going over what does a chapter website look like, what can we do to the chapter website, how do we go in and make changes to the chapter websites. This webinar is a live webinar, so if you do have any questions as we're going along, please do feel free to ask those questions. The best way to do that is through the questions control panel that's in the GoToWebinar software. If you are at a computer with a microphone, and speakers, or if you're dialed in via the telephone, you can always raise your hand as well. That will alert me that you have a question, and I can open up your microphone. Today's webinar is being recorded. It will be made available usually in a couple of days on our YouTube channel. You can find that at youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. Again, that's youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. This has all of our recorded webinars as well as other short videos such as educational moments about BNI Connect and even some special presentations by Dr. Meisner about BNI Connect. You'll also be able to find them on our support page. You can get to our support page through BNI Connect by clicking on this question mark in the upper right-hand corner. That will take you over to the support page, and you'll see in the chapter training and documentation section a section for recorded webinars, and they're all listed here chronologically. So, for example, the webinars that we've done in January so far this year are listed here if you'd like to go in and review them. This one will be listed there as well. Today's webinar is scheduled for about 30 minutes worth of content. This is kind of a 101 course for chapter websites. So we're going to try to cover as much as we can for the CMS Editor. That being said, if you do have questions, I am always happy to stay on these calls as long as you have questions that need to be answered, however long that takes. So let's get started. So we're talking about chapter websites today. Now, every chapter in BNI Connect by default has a web page, and this web page can be customized, though if you haven't done that, it will still have content on it. Let's take a look at a chapter web page and what it looks like. Now, the way to get to the chapter web pages they are a page that's part of your regional website. So I'm a member here in the Rhode Island region. Our regional website is bniri.com, and I can go to find a chapter, and if I click on any of these chapters here, let's say the Founders chapter or the, let's take a look at the West Bay chapter, I can visit the chapter website. Now, this is a default website, so no changes have been made to this particular site. It's going to have on the left-hand side, all of this information is pulled directly from BNI Connect. So as any of that information changes, it is updated automatically. It will have the meeting day and the time and the meeting location, the member count, who the leadership team is, as well as the ways to get in touch with them, and also who the director consultant is. It will have your thank you for closed business. This is a rolling 12 months figure. So right now it's from January 2013 through December 2013. On February 1st, it will start showing February 2013 through the end of January 2014. It has a little bit about BNI, a default graphic, and it also will list the upcoming chapter speakers as long as your secretary-treasurer is entering the speakers online in BNI Connect. So the information here on the left, again, that's automatic. The information down here at the bottom is also automatic. What you can change is all of the stuff that's on this page here. So you can change all the text. You can put new graphics up. There's also a couple of other pages that are available. We have the chapter members page where it will list all of the members. Now again, this is pulled automatically from BNI Connect, but it does give you the ability to change the header. You can add things to the footer as well. There's also a chapter gallery where you can put a picture gallery up, photos about your chapter. Some people have even turned this into a blog style. And then there's also a chapter news feature where people can put up news about the chapter. Now all of this stuff is there by default. and it can be customized. So let me just show you my personal chapter. I am a member here in Rhode Island. We've made just a few edits to this page. We've changed a couple of the words around. We've also added our Facebook page so that people can jump over and like our page. We also added a BNI news feed so that it's pulling a lot of the corporate news. Now these also show up in Google searches. So if I go to Google, and there is a chapter out there. Their name is the Mill River chapter. They've made some other edits to their page. So if I type in BNI Mill River, it is showing up as the first result here. And we can see they made a couple of other edits to their page. They changed more of the text. They added a link to the member search page. They also added their Twitter feed here. And they've added a chapter map to let people know where they're meeting. And again, if I go to the chapter news page, this is that gallery page that they have turned into a blog. So how do we go about editing these pages? How do we go in and make these changes to customize it and make it your own? This is done from the inside, the members-only portion of BNI Connect. And just like WordPress and some of those other website content management systems out there, BNI Connect has its own content management system built in. So let me close these tabs there. Now, in order to access the CMS Editor, you do need to be listed as the Chapter Webmaster. That means that your regional office needs to give you that functionality in the system. Now, if you're not sure if you're a webmaster or not, one of the easiest ways to tell is that this Tools menu will appear at the top of your screen. You can also check on your profile. If you click this Profile button at the bottom of the screen, this will take you to your profile. And listed here will be all of your roles in BNI Connect. And you would need to see listed there the name of your chapter and webmaster. Now, you can also be the webmaster for multiple chapters. You could also be a regional webmaster, but that would need to be listed here in your roles. Now, once you've been assigned a webmaster, the way that you get to the CMS Editor is by clicking on Tools, CMS, and then Chapter Websites. Now, by default, it's going to show you all of the websites that you have access to change. So if you are a regional webmaster, or let's say you're an executive director, you would see all of the chapters in your particular region. If you're a chapter webmaster, you're probably only going to see one thing listed here. Now, it'll show you the link to the page, the name of the chapter, who the creator is, and the last date it was modified. The Options button here is where we're going to go to then go in and make changes to that website. All right, so now we are in the Antarctica region. We're in the Burr chapter, and this is where we can go in and start to make edits to this particular page. Now, here's the layout of this page and what it looks like. This first page lists all of the pages of the site. So we have our home page, we have our chapter members page that we saw. As part of the chapter members page, there's some subsections, the member details section, the chapter details section, and the send message section. There's also the chapter gallery, and then there's the news function. I'll come back to this page to go over the other items on here in just a second. The next tab over is the library tab. Now what the library is these are all the pictures that you would want to use on your website. In order to use a picture on your website, you need to take it from your computer and upload it onto the BNI Connect servers in order to place it on your page. We do that through the library. Now there's three different types of things that you can put into the library: images, documents, and Flash objects. To upload an image to your page, just click the Upload button, and then click the magnifying glass to go search for a file. So let's say that I wanted to put up this BNI Get Connected, Stay Connected logo. I would click on it, It tells me it's ready to upload here, and click the Upload button. And now I can see the Get Connected, Stay Connected logo is up in my library, which means I'll be able to use it on my page. To delete something, just put a check mark in the box and click Delete. To upload another photo, again, just click the Upload button. Use the magnifying glass to go and find what you're looking for, and then click Upload. And again, now I have these two objects up in my library and ready to use. And it's the same for documents and Flash objects. Now the next tab over is the Site Information tab. And this is where you can make some kind of back-end changes to the site itself. Now at the top, you're going to see the full link to your particular website. Right now, the link is an automatically generated one by the system when the site was created. So it's going to be your region's domain name. So in this case, it's antarcticreferrals.com. And then it's going to create the page name by taking a combination of the region name and your chapter name. In this case, it's the Shiver region, and we're in the BNI Burr chapter. And it sticks dashes in between where all the spaces are. Now, that can be a bit of a mouthful. So if I was trying to tell somebody I'm at a networking event and I want to tell them to go visit my chapter page, I would have to tell them, oh yeah, just go to antarcticreferrals.com/shiver-region-bni-burr-chapter. Yeah, that's hard to remember. You can rename the page if you would like to make it easier to get people to your page. And you do that by changing the chapter folder name here. So I can make this pretty much anything I want it to be as long as it's not taken somewhere else. So let's say that I just want this to be Burr chapter. So that way I can tell people to go to antarcticreferrals.com/Burr chapter. The site tagline is for display only. It's what's showing up here at the top. We can't change that. There are 3 buttons on each of the sites. So if I go back to the page, let me pop this into a new tab here. You'll see these 3 buttons at the top: Regional Website, BNI International, and BNI Connect. Now you can rename these buttons. Before you do so, please do check with your regional office. Check with your executive director, your regional admin, your director consultant, and find out if it's okay to change those button names. One of the great things about having a chapter page through BNI Connect is that it is branding consistent, and there's a consistency between pages for all of the chapter pages within your region and around the world. So to maintain that consistency, please do check with your regional office before renaming them. But you could rename these if you wanted to. So for example, if I didn't want this button up here to say BNI Connect and have that be members only, I could change that name as well. If I wanted BNI International, if I wanted this to be, say, www.bni.com, and the regional website I could leave as it is. And there's also a Visit This Chapter button. Now the Visit This Chapter button is up here under the chapter name. And this is what allows somebody to register to come and visit your chapter meeting. So if I click that, we can see that there's a registration page, and this allows a visitor to register for an upcoming chapter meeting. So if you wanted to rename that link here, you could do that as well. Let's say I wanted that to be register now. And finally, you have the analytics code. So if you want to track who's going to your page, how long they stay, what they click on, so on and so forth, there's a number of different tools out there that allow you to capture the analytics for that page. Google Analytics is one of them. You would need to have an account with one of those services, and then you would just copy and paste that analytics code in here. Now, when you're done making all of those changes, make sure you click the Update button at the bottom. The screen will flash blue for a second, and when it returns you to your first page here, you're all ready to go. Now, because we changed the name of our chapter page, what we may want to do is to publish this page right away, just so we can see the preview sites. That brings up a good point. What are these two different links down here? Preview and live URL. Now, when you're working on your chapter website, you're actually working on a copy of your chapter website. So the rest of the world, they see the saved version of your website, and that's the live URL. Now, as you're making changes, you might want to see what those look like before you release them to the rest of the world. And that's what the preview site is. That's the back-end copy of your website that you're making changes to. Now, in order to take all the changes that you've made and make them live for the rest of the world to see, you would click this Publish button. Now, what that's doing is it's taking the preview site and overwriting the live site with all of those changes. So now I could go back, and again, I can go and I can view the preview site, and we haven't made any changes yet, so this should look exactly the same as our live site. We can see the changes. This now says members only, this says BNI.com, and this says regional website still. This also says register now instead of visit our chapter. All right, the final tab along the top is the Gallery tab. And as I said, this is a special page that allows you to create photo albums and descriptions for activities, maybe for socials or for pictures of your chapter and things like that. You can add albums, put pictures in them, and give descriptions to them. All right, I'm going to go back to the pages here, and let's take a look at this page real quick before we get into the meat and potatoes of the page editing itself. Now, you'll notice under each of these pages, there's a couple of different options here. The first one is Edit Name. You can edit the name of the page. So let's say I didn't want the home page to say home. I wanted it to say something like Our Chapter. I could rename that. And what that's going to do is it's going to change that page name. And instead of this kind of button up here saying home, it now says Our Chapter. And you can do the same for the chapter members, the gallery, and the news. So you can edit the name of those other buttons / pages as well. Now, meta tags help with the search engines. You can add meta tags, the description of the page, keywords for the page, and the meta tags themselves. This is a bit of an art form, so I would definitely talk with your search engine optimization or web designer in your chapter in order to be able to have that. I do have a message in here from a couple of minutes ago from Chuem. It says that there's no sound. Is everybody else hearing me okay? I am showing sound going through on my side. And Teresa says yes, she can hear okay. So, all right, I'm going to continue. Sorry about that if you have a bad connection. All right, now on a couple of these tabs, the Gallery and the News tab, you do have another option, and that is the option to hide or show those pages. And you can do that by clicking the Hide button. So if I go back here, we can see that I have these 4 pages enabled: Our Chapter, Chapter Members, Gallery, and News. If I wanted to hide one of those pages, I could do that. So let's say we're not going to use this Gallery feature right now. I could click on Hide. It says, are you sure you want to hide this page? And click Submit. Now what will happen on the preview site, you'll notice that there's no longer a gallery page here. It has been hidden. For that page, you'll also notice that the tab at the top is no longer there either. To bring it back, I would click the Show button, and that would then show this page and bring the editing tab back for it as well. All right, so now let's take a look at the Edit Content button, and this is where you would go in and make any changes or customizations to those pages themselves. All I need to do is pick the page that I'd like to work with and click the Edit Content link. Now keep in mind, this does open in a new window, so if you click that button and nothing happens, check your pop-up blocker. That might be preventing it from opening in your browser. So what we see here is the editing page. Now you'll notice that on the left-hand side, there's nothing for us to edit. That has all of the chapter information, and that's pulled automatically from BNI Connect. The chapter speakers is also something that we can't edit. It just has this content in the middle of the page that we can go ahead and make any changes to that we would like to. You can also make changes to this header bar up here, which may not seem obvious right at first. To make changes, it's as simple as working with a Word document. If you've ever worked on a Word document before, most of these tools that are here should be fairly straightforward, but I'm going to go through some of these functions and show you how they work. Now, for those of you that are web designers that happen to be on the call with us today, you can directly edit the source code or even work on the page in another editor, an offline editor or something like that, and put code back into it. Just click the source button up here at the top, and you will see the source code for the page. Now, for those of you that may not be as technically inclined, this is still useful because it gives you a good way to quickly back up your site in case you're going to make any changes and you want to revert back to the original. What you do is click on the source button, do a select all, Control A on the keyboard, and you're going to copy everything that's written here. Now what I can do is just open up Notepad, and I'm going to paste that in Notepad and save it. Now I have a backup of my site, so I can always take this information and paste it back in here to revert my site back to the original, or at least this page back to the original. All right, so let's take a look at some of these buttons. Now, the first row of buttons here are fairly common Word editing functions. You have the undo, the redo, the cut, copy, and paste. Now, there's a couple of other paste buttons here that may not be as obvious. If you're bringing in text from another source, now let's say that you wrote a bunch of stuff in Microsoft Word and you'd like to put all of that text into your website, it's usually a good idea to use this Paste from Word button. And what this does is it allows you to take that text that you get from Word, paste it in here, and then it'll put it into the website. Now, why we do that is because web display is a bit different than displaying something in a Word file. A lot of times there isn't all of the fonts available. There's also a lot of back-end coding that gets done on Microsoft Word, different colors and styles and things like that. When we try to just directly paste that into a website, a lot of times it doesn't display as well to the end users. So what you may want to do is to use this Paste from Word function. The next ones are Find and Replace. Again, fairly straightforward tools to find text on the website. And we have a Select All button and a Remove Formatting button. Remove formatting is a great alternative as well. If you do paste stuff in here and it doesn't look right, or let's say that you make a bunch of changes to the text and you want to just put it back to normal to reapply those changes, you can click the Remove Formatting button and it'll put it back to the default font and size and style and remove all the colors and things like that. Now, this next set of tools are a bit more advanced tools. I'm not going to go into those so much today, but these are form editor functions, so it does allow you to create a form on your page. with checkboxes and text fields and things like that for people to fill out information. Again, I'm not going to go over that today, but that is available if you are a more advanced user. The next set of buttons over here, this is a full screen button. Not very helpful because it kind of messes up the way things look. However, it's more helpful if you are using the source code. It allows you to see more on the screen. Click it again to revert back to the normal size. The next couple of buttons are the subscript and superscript button. And the subscript and superscript, that's really if, let's say that you're doing something like, the first of the month, and you want that ST here to be a superscript, you could click the superscript button there. The next set of tools you'll find in just about every common document editor out there. You can make things bold, you can make things italic, you can underline things, and you can even strike through things. You can create numbered lists and bulleted lists as well. You can increase and decrease the indent. And you could put in block quotes as well. Formatting options, you can center format things, left format, center, full justify, right, whatever you'd like to do with those. The next set of tools is now when we're starting to get to things that may not appear in a regular Word document, but that are very important when working on the web. The first two buttons here are the link and unlink button. And this is when you want to take somebody to either another place on this website or another page or to another website. So for example, if I wanted this BNI button or this BNI word to become a link that takes you to BNI.com, what I would do is highlight it and then click the link button. Type in where I want it to go, so www.bni.com, and click OK. Now we'll see that BNI is underlined, and when somebody clicks on that in the website, it'll take them to BNI.com. If I don't want that to be linked anymore, I can highlight it and click the unlink button, and that'll remove that link. You can do that also with places on the page. You could set anchors on the page and then bring people to that anchor. That's helpful if you're doing something like an FAQ page or something like that. Now the next button has to do with things that we uploaded. So let's say that I wanted to put a picture. I want to take that Get Connected, Stay Connected picture and put it onto this site. I would click this picture button. Now I'm going to click Browse Server to go and find the images that I uploaded. Now there will be some images up here that were uploaded previously that are just put there by default for you to use if you'd like to. And let's say that I want to take this Get Connected, Stay Connected button, and whoop, that's really, really big, so let me make the width, I want to say the width is 100, and click OK. And now I have a Get Connected, Stay Connected button here. Now you can also link pictures. So let's say that I wanted to, if somebody clicked on this button, I want it to take them to the support site. What I would do is highlight that picture, again click the link, and I want this to go to support.bniconnect.com and click OK. And that way if anybody clicks this image, it will bring them to that website. Other functions, you can add a line. There is a smiley face tool, which isn't incredibly helpful, but it is there. The Omega button here allows you to put certain symbols into the site that aren't on your regular keyboard. So if I wanted to, let's say, put the copyright symbol or the registered trademark symbol, I could do that with the Omega button. You can change the styles of things, as well as the fonts. Now I caution you with the fonts. Some people like to go crazy with fonts on various pages. I recommend that you keep things in an Arial font, and the reason for that is that that is the official accepted branded font for BNI. And again, that's the Arial font. You can change the size. So if you want something to be extra large or extra small, you can do that as well. You can change the text colors, and you can also change the highlighting. So now that I've made all these changes, I can click the preview button if I want to see what they look like, or click the save button, which will also take me to the preview page. I verify that these are the changes I wanted to make. Click close. Now again, these will be only visible to you until you publish the page. So if I click on the preview site, these are the changes that I've made. However, everybody else in the world is still only seeing the original site. In order to get those changes live, I do need to click the Publish button. Now that it's published, if I go back to the site, I will see all of these changes I made. So again, that'll take people to the support site, and we have now modified our chapter web page. So we are at the bottom of the hour. For those of you that do need to leave right away, I do want to say thank you for being here. I do, however, want to open it up for questions. So if you do have any questions whatsoever, whether it's on the CMS Editor or anything else in BNI Connect, I would like to open it up for questions now. And again, for those of you that do need to leave right away, I do want to remind you that this is being recorded, so everything, including the upcoming questions, will be made available. It will be on our YouTube channel. Again, that YouTube channel is youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. It will be in with these recent uploads. You'll also find it on the support site, so support.bniconnect.com, or click the question mark in BNI Connect, and they will be listed here under Chapter Training and Documentation in the recorded webinars for January 2014. All right, so we do have a couple of questions coming in, and we have one question from Kathleen. How do I add the Google Map, like on the example? So the Google Map needs you to get the Google Map kind of API code for that particular map. And then you would add that into the page. So usually it's an iframe code. So the way to do that is to go to Google and get the map that you're looking for. So go to maps.google.com, and then you're going to find the place that you're looking for. So let's say that I'm looking for where I am right now, and I want to add this to the map. So I should be able to, and they might have moved this around. Okay, and here we go, the link to this map. And they have the paste HTML to embed in website. And you can see it's an iframe code here. So what you need to do is to highlight that and copy it. So I hit Control C on my keyboard to copy this, or you can right click and choose copy. Now I'm going to go back into my page. So I'm going to go into the Our Chapter page and click Edit Content. Now we can't just paste it here because it'll show up as text. What we would need to do is to put this into the source code. So my little trick that I always use when I do this is once I switch to source code, it's kind of hard to find stuff here. So I'm going to go into the text, and let's say I want to show up right under my Get Connected, Stay Connected button there. I'm going to put something that I can find a little easier in the text. Then I'm going to go back to the source code, and I'm going to go find that XXXXXXX. And let's see, where is it? And here it is right here. So I'm going to replace this. I'm just going to go Control V and put that iframe code in there and go back to my source. I can see that the Google Map will now be here for me. I'm going to save this, and in the preview page we can see it's here now. And then when I publish the page, and go there, I can see that the map is now here. And that is how to add a Google map to your chapter page. So does that help, Kathleen? Kathleen said, thanks, Twitter link and Facebook icons are copy and paste code also. Yes, each of those have their own way to do that. The best thing to do is to basically Google add Facebook link to my website. And same thing for Twitter, add Twitter button to my website. And they have a very special code that you would input as well. But it's the same exact type of thing where you're going into the source code, you need to paste what they give you into the site. All right, let's see, we have a couple more questions here. Suzanne said, will there be a webinar for more advanced users such as forms? Right now I don't have any additional webinars for advanced functions scheduled at this time. That is something that we can definitely work on. To be completely honest with you, I am not myself a webmaster, so I know enough to be dangerous here with the beginner level stuff. We do have on our team the people that are responsible for the CMS portion, the public website portion, so I can contact them and see if they're interested in putting on a more advanced level tutorial for the CMS editor. So. All right, Phil says, can a chapter add a hyperlink in a member area for a credit card payment link for monthly dues? So can you add a hyperlink in a member area for a credit card payment link for monthly dues? In a members only area or here somewhere on the chapter site? So, I mean, you can put a hyperlink pretty much anywhere you want. On this public website, there really isn't a members-only part of this particular site. I'm sure with some advanced coding technique, you may be able to do it or make it a password-protected link or something like that. But I wouldn't say it would be easy to do, at least not on this particular set of pages. So I apologize for that. I mean, you could hyperlink to another payment system or something. That's certainly possible. But I don't think I have an easy way to do it and make it members only. So I apologize for that, Phil. Janine says, can you review again where the webmaster login is? Sure, absolutely. So in order to get into the webmaster functions, you do need to be coded as a webmaster by your regional office. So if you're not sure how to get in touch with your regional office, hopefully you know what your regional website is. So in this case, again, mine is bniri.com. There should be a contact page on there. And you would want to send a message to your executive director or one of your regional admins in order to get coded as a webmaster. Once you are coded as a webmaster, what you should see is this tools option here. Until you are coded as a webmaster, you will not see this tools option. Once you are coded, tools, CMS, and chapter websites. That will bring you to the function that allows you to go in and edit the chapter websites. All right. So hopefully that answers your question, Janine. And Gary, I guess that answered your question at the same time. All right, so let's see. Eileen says, can each chapter change up look and insert an invitation, such as for a guest day? For specific visitor days where you're going to have a lot of guests, what I would say is work with your regional office. There is a special tool in BNI Connect specifically for visitor days that allows you to actually create an event for it on the regional calendar with a whole special registration process and things like that. On this page, on your regular chapter page, you do not have the ability to edit the actual this actual form. This is a universal form that's used for every pre-visitor registration, so this itself cannot be edited. You'll notice that that link actually takes you off of your page and into a common form. So no, it's not possible to edit that particular look and feel of this function here. And let's see, Suzanne has a couple of questions. One question is it possible to add jQuery? And I'm afraid I don't know the answer to that one. While we're talking here, I just did drop a message into a Skype window to ask my team here if they happen to know the answer to that one. If they get back to me before the end of the webinar, I'll have an answer for you. If not, what I would ask is, can you please send an email to support@bniconnect.com, support@bniconnect.com, and I will forward that over to our website experts and get an answer for you. However, for anchor tags, yes, you can add anchor tags. So let's go back in and edit our chapter site here and edit content. If I wanted to add an anchor tag, let's say down here for bottom of page, I could add an anchor here, bottom of page, click OK, and now let's say up here I have something that says go to bottom. I could take this, create a link, the link type, link to anchor, bottom of page, OK, and now I have a go to bottom link. So yes, you can add anchor tags. I'm assuming that's what you were referring to. So you'd like to add anchor from intro text to speakers located below. You wouldn't be able to link to the actual speakers themselves, but if you drop that anchor right down here, right above where you can edit, you would be able to bring them down to that speaker section. Essentially, exactly what I did here. I put the speakers, I put this anchor right above the speakers. I wonder if this may be a new thing, but let's see if I can stick an anchor tag here. And then I had up at the top, let's say, check out our upcoming speakers. Oops. And I wanted this to bring us down there. Okay, save. Let me go to our preview site here. Check out our upcoming speakers, and this brings us down to the presenters section. So is that what you were looking for, Suzanne? And she says, yes. Wonderful. And Shwen, I'm glad that you did get your audio working. I apologize for any inconvenience. Again, you'll be able to review this entire presentation, including the audio, after I get it uploaded to YouTube. All right. That was the last question that I had listed here. Does anybody else have any additional questions whatsoever? I'd be happy to answer those questions now. So Suzanne says that she is looking forward to a advanced presentation. So I will definitely talk to the rest of my team and see if he wants to put on an advanced section for you guys. And Kathleen said, thanks so much. This is great. You covered a lot. Couple of things in closing. I would love it if you guys could give us a like. We do have a Facebook page, facebook.com/BNI Connect Global. Again, hop over to that page, give us a like. We do a ton of stuff up here, webinar announcements, reminders, tips and tricks, and new features as they come out, things like that, all up on our Facebook page. So if you could pop up there and give us a like. And then also, if you go back to the support site, again, support.bniconnect.com, we have our upcoming webinars. Now, a great referral for me would be to please refer your chapter members to these webinars, to please let them know about these webinars. If you're a regional admin or an executive director on the call, if you could please let all of your members know about these upcoming webinars. We would love to have more people on these webinars so we can get the information out of our heads and into yours. The next webinar is tomorrow, January 15th. We're going to be going into the member tools and reports. So we're going to go a little deeper into BNI Connect from a member perspective, take a look at all of the different pieces of information you can pull out of BNI Connect and some other useful operations and tools that you'll be able to use to make your lives easier in BNI Connect. So please do join us for that. Again, that's tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific and noon Eastern, and that will be recorded as well. So again, thank you guys so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again on a future webinar. Have a great week, everyone, and happy connecting.